Hello, good morning everybody. I'm Rick Story, I'm a Director of Eco Action Partnership. Eco Action Partnership manage and run the whole Love Your Tent campaign. And Love Your Tent is essentially a waste campaign. We started it in 2012 in response to the vast amount of tents and rubbish left behind by people attending festivals and events. And it's inspired by our work as sustainability consultants to the Isle of Wight Music Festival. So the aim of Love Your Tent is to make the process of getting up and leaving absolutely everything behind you on a Monday morning or after the event finishes, certainly in order for somebody else to come and clean it up, to make that totally unacceptable. So in short, we need to turn this, which is fantastic, into this. And this is the Love Your Tent campsite on the Isle of Wight Festival after the festival finished on Monday morning. There was 18 tents left behind. At Love Your Tent, we were initially told by some people in the know and some people with lots of experience, some people who've been working on festivals for a long time, that we'd never changed this behaviour and that we would never stop this waste and it couldn't be done, which obviously makes us certain that we were just doing the right thing. So what's the problem? Well, Helen at a Greener Festival made a fantastic film last year, and this tells you from the punter's point of view what the problem is. We've got sound.
Louder, if possible.
Get that haunting music in there.
They get given to charity. I'm not quite sure how accurate that is, but people just leave them, dump them, and then someone has to come round and break them down, I guess. And I know that a load of it is recyclable, so if you can't do it as charity, then a lot of it's going to landfill, so it's not the best thing in the world.
I think it's quite disgusting, really, because you walk around and there's like people just leaving brand new sleeping bags on the floor and brand new tents they've used once, they just dump them, you know. Certain people don't have that sort of disposable funds to do that, you know. I don't understand why people just leave everything, you know. And all you gotta do is take it home, clean it, put it away, and then next year you don't have to buy it again. Yeah.
The impact that the audience have on the festival by leaving their tents behind is that there's huge cost of getting all the stuff off site. Most of it goes to landfill. That's a huge cost of the festival. It's increasing the price of the tickets for the audience, and people should just take their stuff home.
For each person that can't bother to take their tent down and carry it away, someone else has got to spend days going around taking tents down and carrying them away. It's not really very fair, surely. And yeah, and take your tent home, please.
Excellent. So you can see what the problem is. So it's not just tents that people leave behind. It's sleeping bags, chairs, gazebos, clothes, wellies, food, alcohol. Take a trip around the campsites on the day after the event finishes, and it's incredible what you can find. And obviously, there's lots of food left behind. We work on a very conservative estimate of about 1 and 2 in every 5 tents being left behind, depending on the size of the event, the audience demographic, and the all-important weather conditions, like last year. So add into this all of the other waste, and it means there's a significant tonnage that's just simply collected and sent to landfill. So this isn't to ignore that there's some great, brilliant initiatives employed by groups and organisers alike on the festivals, because they are. But going beyond local use of small amounts of reclaimed and recycled tents, international aid agencies in general won't touch flimsy two-man tents that cost £12–15 or 20–25 euros. And quite cheap.
Yes, but I think the average price is 30 euros.
Yeah,
It's
still
discounted.
very cheap. And the number of volunteers and the logistics needed to collect such a large amount of tents post-festival is very difficult to achieve and to organise. So, I mean, we at Love Your Tent feel that there's really such a small amount of good to come out of this versus the absolute honest truth, which is that organisers have to return the site to normal as soon as possible, and the easiest option is just simply to pay the waste contractors to come and gather it up and get rid of it. If it doesn't make financial sense to the organisers having to pay contractors to collect it and then pay landfill charges, it can't make much sense to the punters either, buying a new tent and all the associated equipment every time they go to another festival, and it makes no sense to the environment. So what's the plan? Well, what have we done to raise awareness and get support so far? Well, we made a short film last year and premiered it as our first launch on the campaign on Valentine's Day last year. We then spent the next few months before the start of the festival season gathering support from festivals, social media sites and press, and obviously campers. Love Your Tent's first festival appearance was running, as I said before, the Respect campsite at the Isle of Wight Festival. Campsite you could only get into if you signed up to the Code of Practice, meaning that you respect the environment and took your tents and stuff home with you. The 1,500 places were taken almost as soon as they were released, so that's 1,500 people. We think about 630 tents, atrocious weather conditions, a month's rain falling in 24 hours on the Thursday morning, and only 18 tents left behind. In the UK so far we've had support from, among others, Greener Festival, AIF, Radio 6 DJ Namone, who fronted our campaign last year, BBC Radio 4's You and Yours programme, The Observer, Isle of Wight Festival, V Festival, DEC, for which I write a blog on their website, and DEFRA. In Germany we've had support from a number of festivals and events and organisations throughout last year and for this year, and Holger will be talking about that a little bit later. Love Your Tent also saw its truly global debut at the end of December when it went out to Rhythm and Vines Festival in New Zealand. And this year we've already have major festivals like Reading, Leeds, Latitude, Glastonbury and a whole host of other smaller festivals on board. Love Your Tent will be at some of these festivals, spreading the word and gathering data and actual information from punters about what they feel about the tent waste, so we have properly defined figures. So, overall objectives for Love Your Tent is to build a social media enterprise with unstoppable momentum, to become a trusted voice within the festival community on abandoned waste management issues, to provide information and reasons for people to change, i.e. finding about statistics, to lobby associated retailers to tackle the lower end pricing of tents and sleeping bags, and to support festivals in managing abandoned waste issues on the ground. Everything we do feeds into our Facebook page as a central hub, and in doing so we are essentially driving our community to greater numbers, asking and involving rather than preaching and telling people what to do. For the campaign to work, it has to become something that has its own life, which means that people need to really care about it. Following on from the successes of last year, there's two levels of engagement we're pushing this year. And the first is a continued social media supported role from events to festivals. So no physical attendance at the festivals by us, but each event will continue to use the logos and the messages, QR codes and related promotional material and films. And the second is a more integral role, where Love Your Tent offers all of the above, but also attends the festival with a small team to help process of gathering and sorting information, helping the event push the message through various interactions on the ground and showing the various films at the event. Speaking of films, here's another one that we prepared earlier. So hopefully, if we're doing our job right, every camping event people attend, they are starting to see the same actions and the same logo, the same coordinated support, and the same message. We are spreading this one simple message to every festival and to everyone, which is love your tent and take it home. So in conclusion, and in relation to the question of saving money and limiting damage to the environment, actually we think this is a very easy fix. If you show people, organisers and campers, how much waste there is, how much it costs them every year, and then what happens to the waste. If you show them there's an alternative to the present situation, you get a win-win situation. Organisers save money, punters save money, there's less waste, there's less landfill, there's less damage to the environment and less resources being used up. It's a fine line between preaching and lecturing to people and actually doing what seems to be the right thing. And we hope that we've got the balance right between these two things. Thanks for listening and love your tent. I'll hand over to my colleague, Holger. We can change.
Thanks, Rick. Good morning, everybody.
I like this. I get to be a techie today.
Excellent.
It's unusual. Okay. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've got
He's
a
our
tent.
mascot. He left it behind.
If I want to show,
It's a bit of a mess.
show the clip
Yeah.
from the folder, I probably need to have. There it is.
Yeah, I'm good.
Last year, I think around this time, Ben sent over the Greener Festival clip that we saw first to Germany and say, maybe you're interested in this. Have you ever heard of this? And I said, yeah, it's the same thing in Germany at the big festivals. People leave it behind and don't care about it. And then I'm working for Europe, the European Festival Association, with 80 members from 25 countries, and we have an international working group which is called the Go Group, where we have an international network. Everybody I was talking to said, oh, we have the problem. Yeah, we have camping and they leave it behind. And so we found out this is not a regional or a national problem in Germany or in Britain. It is an international problem, and so I started last year pushing it a little bit into the German market, and we did a German version of the first clip we saw, and there were discussions on the websites of the festivals and on their Facebook sites by the punters talking about it like, I always burn my tent, and I usually don't take it. If it's burned, I don't take it home, and etc. And others say, are you mad, etc. So we pushed the discussion. People started to think about it, and that's what really drives me. If people get conscious about this topic, then maybe it can change. I'm pretty sure it's very hard. What I think we should achieve is a huge international initiative. It is, like Rick said, not physical attendance at all these festivals, and I'm talking about an international network. We can't go international everywhere, but the festivals, if they want to work on the topic, they could do it with our tools. And I'd like to build up a strong group of international festivals. At the moment, I have 25 festivals from 8 countries waiting that we put up the campaign and show them where we're going this summer. This should be the base to approach associations like the European Outdoor Group, etc. And their members' cause are part of the problem, because they retail or produce cheap equipment. And if we have such a communication campaign, I'm confident and I hope that we can get through to them and get some support in the end. And of course, we need a consistent way to communicate the problem. Like Rick already said, is we should use the same actions, the same logo and corporate design, coordinated support, same message, same tools. I'd like to offer to the international festivals various motifs within this campaign. Offer them clips, layouts for fans banners and online banners, ads for their printed material, and give them the chance to personalize this by adding their logo to it. So it is the XYZ festival supporting Love Your Tent and making it somehow their own initiative, being part of the initiative, so the festivals feel more attached to it. I think the clips and the moving images are very important in this case. I'd like to offer them for online use before the festival, after, people talking about it, posting them on their sites, and they have to be able to use things on their festivals if they have screens and have the chance to show them at the festivals. They should be able to do it also with own logo integration. We just saw the devastation clip. It is right now 160 seconds. We'd like to edit it to 60 seconds, that festivals are able to show it on their screens and have something else to show between beer ads, etc. And then I'd like to show you some more.
Stand by to receive our transmission.
You can't see it. How can I?
Let's hope I can figure this out.
You're on again.
Maybe to bring the one down.
Which video is it?
No.
See if we can play it straight from there.
Stand by to receive our transmission.
Bear with us, guys. Chat amongst yourselves for a moment. Okay, which slide is it on here?
And maybe we just cut it down.
Cut
it down and open it up again.
You might be able to play it from.
Still, just close it. Close and open it again. Right.
Okay, now let's try
play it.
just doing this.
No,
Stand by to receive our transmission.
still not.
Not sure how
The
to get this
guy
over.
took it to the side and then it
Oh, he dragged it to the side from the presentation, did he?
no. There he comes.
Yay! So, it's this video, but then we need
Actually,
to
I'd
get the
like to show
presentation
it.
of it.
What's that?
That's the sound.
Stand by.
Ah.
To receive our transmission.
work in progress. I got a question. Is it too quick or is it understandable for people? Okay, because I had a little survey in Germany and young people said, "Oh, this is too quick. I don't understand." And I was.
The elephants.
Now, this is 60 seconds. If it's finished, we like to give it to the offer it to the festivals that I do and
Okay.
bring it over there. And the festival should be able to put a pre-roll in front of it and saying XYZ Festival supports, and then you have the clip, so you have the personalization again. What I want is to make the audience think about, all right, it's just, I have 30 euros and 4 kilos of waste, but if it adds, it is this sheer amount and numbers that you can't imagine, and who's able to drink 1 million beers. It's
Stand by to receive our transmission.
We even did very short ones that if you have the information from the other one and from the support and the media and from the website, etc., then people will be able to find it ever again on several occasions. And we were talking about an action that we design stencils, and that people can go around at the festivals and have the Love Your Tent logo and the festival logo, and the people collect these sprays on their tents so that their tent becomes an album.
Stand by to receive our transmission.
And maybe if they start collecting and having the logos of the events that they were attending on their tent, they think about taking it with them because it's a collectible for them. Okay. There it is again. Close window. Ah. So we have the clips. We will have, these are not the finals, but we will offer fence banners in various ways to accommodate the festivals, layouts in various motifs, black and white on black ones, ads for print materials. Here we have, for example, the album thing again. What we ask for this international thing is we ask the festivals for their actual media support. We ask them for some numbers and figures to gain valid figures for international comparison, for international communication, that we have average figures to work with, hard facts, and we're at the moment working on a topic called do people behave better in a clean environment, and hopefully we get some answers to have another I know the German word.
Try it out, we might get
An argument. Argument is like fighting is just we have another right thing to say. So if it's clean, it's more safe. Keep it clean, and you will be safer. That's what we would like to say. Yes, and we of course ask for a small handling fee for media personalization, etc. But actually, this is the campaign would be worth far more, I would say, from my point of view. So one simple message: love your tent, take it home, and that was already shown. And as we are working for Go Group, I just like to say, visit our website. In 1 month, actually, we have a wonderful workshop in Paris, another beautiful city, and I'd like to see everybody there again. So, any questions? Yes, please.
Are you going to extend the Isle of Wight this year?
Don't know. Still talking to John about what we're doing at the Isle of Wight. Say again, sorry?
Were they pleased with the result?
Very much so. Yeah. Well, I mean.
Why did you have to limit it to tents in the first?
Well, we limited it to 1,500 people because we weren't sure. Initially, we were sure before we did it what would happen, but because it was the first year that we did it, we wanted to go small. And we released the places in 3 lots of 500. So we released 500 places, and then people took that up, and then we released another 500, just to make sure that it was something that people wanted, and then to keep it small to manage it the first year, and just to see how it worked and stuff. It worked very well. So.
May I say something? Yeah. We in Germany, many festivals right now have green campsites, and about 10-12% of the audience already are green campers. There was a new festival established this year, and they took 1/3 of their campsite capacity and claimed it already green camping. So they'd like to push people to camp greener. So this is good, but still there's the brown camping, or whatever you would call it.
The other camping.
And
toilets.
And we have to reach out to them, because these are the guys that leave their tents and their wellies and their sleeping bags and food, etc., etc. And we have to still have to work with them, even if we have something very good on the other hand. Yes, please. Laura, second.
You've got to.
What do you do when people don't actually collect their tents or separate the waste properly in the green campaigns, in the Love Your Tent, Respect campaign?
You're talking about in Germany or
like just in general? How do you make sure that those people actually do collect their tents and do behave like people?
We don't go around. It's not a thing that you go around and police. But essentially, what we did with the respect thing was that if you wanted to go into that area, it's all voluntary. You had to sign up to a voluntary code of conduct. So people who wanted to be with their friends, who were students, who didn't care, who wanted to set fire to their tents, wouldn't automatically be drawn to signing up to try and get into the Love Your Tent field. So it's an optional thing. People want to come into that field, they're already thinking, I've had enough of being in a campsite with people and playing bongos till 4 a.m. I just want to be with other people. What we found, other people who feel the same way, what we found last year was there was an added sort of community spirit that we didn't think would happen, what we hoped would happen. People just looking out for each other. So it's a rolling thing of people taking their tents home. But what also happened, and we didn't ask people to do this, but we gave them out black bags throughout the weekend for their waste. They not only just put their tents down, but they collected all the waste in separate bags and all their recycling in separate bags and took it to the entrance as they left. We didn't ask them to do that. It just became part of, we've had a great weekend, we really care about this, we've met some wonderful people, and we're going to do that. And it kind of, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy thing.
Right.
So,
do you think it's a model that works better in small campsites rather than going for maybe 5,000 or 10,000 in one go?
Personally, I think smaller sections rather than a huge.
So the Hurricane Festival, for example, is a 70,000 capacity one, and they have 15% green campers, which is about 9,000, something like that. And and it works. If people don't stick to the code during the weekend, they get banned from the green campsite and have to be with the ordinary people. And in the end, they take it with them because the group watches themselves and they stick to the code. So of course there might be like 18 tents at the respect site there too, but it doesn't need more security. If people sign into that, it works. Even at Rock am Ring, for example, the big festival where people went to the green campsites because they used to stay at these campsites before they were green, were acting to the code, although it wasn't the first thing that made them go there.
I also think it depends on the type of festival that you're going to. So if the festival you're going to is already very, very green, you're going to attract a different demographic audience, people who actually will probably do it anyway, or more inclined to do it if you push them in the right direction. So
there was one question left, and we are running out of time, I think.
Two more questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, how you feel about using your logo on our websites, suppliers' websites, suppliers' packaging, etc., just to get the message across?
We are talking to a couple of retailers about that, but yes, that's something that we would definitely do. We'd have to talk about where you're thinking of placing it and how, but I think that's for us. It's getting the message out there in almost any way that we can that doesn't hurt the message. So yes,
I think it's a good thing to get the word around. In the end, the message is don't buy a new one. Use the old one. So if the retailers support it and we go there, then
but it's not.
If you buy a new one, love it.
Yeah,
and use it for a long time. It has to be clear.
Yeah, but it's also, again, talking to a couple of retailers, what we don't want to do is sort of kind of cut into their business, but if it's pushed right and you are going to love your tent and take it to 40 festivals, you probably want to spend more than 10 quid on a tent. So essentially, greater sort of money being spent on tents that last longer.
We're going to wrap that one up now. If there's more questions later, you're welcome to...
We'll be in the bar. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.